Okay, so I'm going to kind of show you how to do an 8-stitch cable cross on the loom. And you can see I did a right and a left. I wasn't sure if I could do a left, but I did manage to do a right and left. And I'm doing, been doing it the left-handed direction, but I'm also going to show the right-handed direction in a different video, but this is the left-handed direction, and I'm going to be kind of showing you how to do it flat. So naturally I'm having a purl stitch on the sides, which is pretty standard. You don't have to, this just kind of makes it stand out, okay? And so what you're doing is, okay, you want to E-wrap 8. And you're going to do this for 6 rows, okay? Because your 8th row should be the cable cross. So you're going to E-wrap, and yes, E-wrap. Don't try this flat knit. There's no give, okay? And it'll look stretched, and it won't look clean, and so it's just not worth it. Just go ahead and do your any cable row in E-wrap, all right? It just works easier on the looms, and purl the last stitch. All right, so the next step, okay, and this works the same no matter what, it's 6 rows of E-wrap. So you go back and forth and E-wrap for 6 rows. Okay, so purl the ends, E-wrap for 6 rows. All right, and this would be my 6th row. I've kind of already done that for you. So you pause the video, go ahead and get your 6 rows done. All right, now here's where we're going to go, and we're going to call it the prep row for row 7. Okay, and this is the same no matter which route you're going, whether you're going the right cable cross or a left cable cross. You're going to do this exactly the same. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to E-wrap 1. We're going to E-wrap another. And then we're going to double wrap 1, 2. We're going to double wrap for 5 pegs. There's 1, 2. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Now normally you would do 6, but I don't think we need that excessive amount of extra, okay, in order to do this. You can do 6 if you'd like, but we're going to do 5. Okay. E-wrap and purl. Now this doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're doing the right or left, this is what you do. This is your prep row. It does not matter, okay? So what you want to do is you want to toss over those top double wrapped pegs, okay? And then you're going to even out the tensioning among the 8 stitches, okay? So toss, toss, and toss. All right. Let's bring our loose tensionings to the front. Okay, so we're going to loosen that up. Just gently pull it. Try to even all that up. Okay, so we're going to pull there, pull there. Okay, and you can have it fairly loose, but what you're trying to do is even up those stitches as much as possible. Okay, when you feel like you have them fairly evened out in tension, you may need to do a little bit more over here, just to make sure you got it. Okay, so you want to even out your tension. Now, I'm going to show you how to do the right cable cross first, okay, and that is the easiest, okay, because you're not having to put any strain on any stitches, all right? So first thing is first, you want to skip pegs 1. All right, first you gotta purl real quick. Let's go ahead and purl. All right. First things first, what you want to do is you want to skip pegs 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to E-wrap pegs 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. You're going to toss your loops over. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put stitch 8, 7, 6, and 5 in that order onto your stitch holder. Put it to the center of the loom. Bring your working yarn in front and E-wrap pegs, go all the way. E-wrap pegs 1, 2, 3, 4. Toss the loops over. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to take peg 4 and move it over to peg 8. Take peg 3 and move it over to peg 7. Okay, and then take peg 2 and move it over to peg 6, and peg 1 and move it over to peg 5. Okay, now what we want to do now is we want to take stitch 5 off of our stitch holder and place it onto peg 1 over here. Then we want to take stitch 6 off and place it onto peg 2. Okay, and then we want to take stitch 7 off and place it onto peg 3. Okay, and then we want to place stitch 8 onto peg 4. Okay, all right, now next thing's next. We want to tighten them stitches up. You may not have to put any stress on them stitches, but you do need to tighten them up. Okay, and you start from over there on peg 1 with the set. Sorry. The center should give you a little bit more trouble when you get that middle point where the cross is. Okay, then go in and you tighten that up and you purl the last. Okay, so go ahead and purl the last stitch. Okay, so you repeat that process where you're going back and forth for 6 rows, do your prep row, then do your cable cross. Okay, now you want to try to be on the same side every time, and what we've just done is we've done this here. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to do the left, and that one is more challenging. You can see I do have more stretch in order to do that right cable cross, the left cable cross in the left-handed method. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and get yourself prepped to do a cable crossing, but we are going to be ready to do the left cable crosses next time. So go ahead and pause the video and prep yourself so that you are ready to start from here and work your way over. Okay. Okay, now we're ready to, we've prepped, as you can see, we've done our 6 rows, we've done our prep row, we've already got our stitches evened out, we've already done everything, okay? And now we're ready to do our left cable cross in the left-handed method, and that is where it's most difficult, all right? So, we're gonna go ahead and get our stitch holder. We're going to lift up stitch 4, 3, 2, and 1 in that order. Okay, we're going to lift them up. We're going to take our working yarn, make sure it's out of the way. We're going to place those stitches in the middle of the loom. Okay, now first things first, then we're going to skip in front of those and we're going to E-wrap pegs 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Now, you may find when you start getting into this many stitches, you may want a second stitch holder, okay? So where you can lift them up all at once. Let me see if I have a second one. Here's the second one. I have a few. Okay, so what you can do is you can go ahead and you can just kind of lift up those stitches. All right, so I'm doing it as backwards, you know, stitch 8 through 5 in that order. Okay, I'm just going to kind of lift those up off the pegs. All right, now do know you can do this in the finer gauges a little easier. Right, so if you want to use 2, you can when you start getting into these heavier amounts. But what you want to do is you want to place stitch 5, take it off, and place it onto peg 1. Take stitch 6 and place it onto peg 2. Okay. Take stitch 7 and place it onto peg 3. Okay. And then you want to take stitch 8 and place it onto peg 4. All right, because of the way we did it, we had to cross over. I'm going to go ahead and tighten these stitches up. Okay, so they're done. We don't have to worry about it. Okay, now here is where our challenge comes in. We're going to do this one at a time in ear. And what that does is it loosens up the stitch. So the first one to come off is going to be stitch 1. We're going to take it off. We're going to pull it over here and place it onto peg 5. We're going to go ahead and E-wrap it and toss the bottom loop over. It'll allow a little bit more give. All right, so then we're going to take stitch 2 and place it on peg 6 and E-wrap the peg. All right. Then we're going to take the stitch 3 and place it on peg 7. All right. We're almost done with this. We're going to place it on peg 7, E-wrap it, toss the bottom loop over, and then we're going to place stitch 1 on peg 8. Ta-da. And E-wrap it. And that is how you do a left cable cross in a left-handed direction without having to stress these stitches too much, which is a good thing. You don't want to stress them too much. Okay, and then go ahead and purl. All right, so that's how you do it. We've just done left and right in the left-handed direction. Okay, so that is how you do it. Now, if you find that the stitches are looser or not what you're liking, you can go ahead and you can kind of stretch the cables out. Okay, and that a lot of times will start evening out the stitches to kind of stress those stitches in different directions. To go in and do that, and a lot of times it'll start to even out. Okay, you can go in and pull behind. All right, and it'll start to even out the stitches so you don't see quite the extensive stretch. Okay, but that is how you do an 8-stitch left and right cable cross in the left-handed direction.